Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. A pleasure to be with all of you once again. A real pleasure. Well, you can see that today I started 15 minutes late, but it will be worth it. It will be worth it because we begin a new case of metaphysical analysis here on the channel. And yes, as you can read from the title description, it's none other than Drakensang Online. Drakensang 3. Now, let us begin with reasons why I decided to pick this game as our new case of analysis after Star Wars New Republic. We will keep playing Star Wars New Republic on Thursdays, and this one on Tuesdays. Correct? Or we can do it the other way around. We'll see. But the idea is that I have some reasons as to pick Drakensang 3, Drakensang Online, as a new case of analysis. First of all, and of course it's a personal honor, that I asked a viewer of the channel, and I am honored to say, of course, that the person would like me to analyze the game first of all. Always district a great salutations. Always all of my appreciation for your company, all of the times that you visited the channel. First of all. Second, this game has the same origin, has the same genre, the same gameplay mechanics, and the same idea. It wanted to be the same thing as Sacred 2. Because while Drakensang 1, that we played completely previously, also another reason why I want to play this one, because I'll be able to see the beginning and the end of the franchise, pretty much, with a genre change in the middle of it, with the genre changing in the middle of it. As we'll read right now, we'll read the history of the game as we usually do, pretty much, in this new case of analysis. But the idea is that alongside Sacred 2, this is also a German-developed RPG, right? For those of you who don't know, in terms of the West, of course, the United States it's top one in game development, of course. But then, in terms of inside of Europe, alongside the UK, Germany is pretty much the main developer, alongside France, of course, and alongside the UK. But Germany historically has been one of the main game developers, game developing hubs of Europe. And alongside Sacred 2, this is a great example of the German interpretation of the role-playing genre. In this case, specifically the sub-classification of isometric action RPG. And I emphasize this because Drakensang 1 and Drakensang 2, I will refer to this one as Drakensang 3 because it's basically Drakensang 3. The first two entries were classic RPG games based off a tabletop copy of Dungeons and Dragons, basically with dice roll checks, real time with post-combat pretty similar to Baldur's Gate, etc, etc, etc. This one is an isometric action RPG, similar to Diablo, with different characteristics. The idea with different features, but the idea is that we still have to do the genre classification, because I started playing Sacred 2, and I remember I said it was an isometric action RPG, and I ended up classifying it as an offline MMORPG, and this one, it says it's an MMORPG, but then it says isometric camera. Once again, another clear case of sadly, uh, unprecise game reviewers who are unable to properly classify the genre because they don't know which are the elements that are genre defining in the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics and the structure of the level design and the gameplay mechanics. Okay, but enough of an intro, people. Enough of an intro, people. Let's get into the history. Let's get into the history of Drakensang Online. Just as with Sacred 1 and Sacred 2, and another case which is Torchlight 1 and Torchlight 2, and then the cancelled Torchlight Frontiers, which was meant to be the MMORPG incarnation of the first two entries, just like Drakensang Online is the online incarnation of the first two entries of the series. We can see that they tried to make the transition from offline, in this case classic RPG, Drakensang 1 and 2 as we played, real-time with post-combat, following the formula of the Infinity Engine created by Baldur's Gate, by BioWare, mimicking Dungeons & Dragons, copying Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 rule set, just like Knights of the Republic, for example, as well, Icewind Dale, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, of course, and many more. Just to cite some other examples, you have Neverwinter Nights, Knights of the Republic, as I've said. Well, in the case of Mass Effect, it did the transition completely to real-time action combat in that sense. Dragon Age Origins, that I always cite as one of the best games of all time, it would be one of my personal picks. And Drakensang 1, for example, felt extremely similar to Dragon Age Origins, for example. But well, we have Drakensang 1, Drakensang 2 that I haven't played, and then we have this one, which is the transition to action-based combat, isometric action RPG combat, pretty similar to Diablo 3. So, we will need to take into account the influence of Diablo, the father of all isometric action RPG games, the influence of the German context in that sense, with Sacred 2 trying to be, again, just like Diablo 3, and Torchlight, again, trying to be like Diablo 3. They were trying to make to do the transition, to make the jump from offline isometric action RPG to online MMORPG with an isometric camera. And I'm mentioning this because I want you to pay attention at the dates. The dates are always important in these cases. They're always important. Release date, August 2011, pretty much. And it was in open beta, and then July 20. Let the release, let's take this one as a reference, 2011. By this time, Diablo 3 had already been launched with a lot of controversy, but being successful. Diablo 3 has been successful, even with all of the controversy that surrounded it. It definitely, I have criticized it endlessly because of the scaling system of the damage that is just proportional without any elemental system in place to add abstract complexity to the gameplay mechanics. For example, we could see in Sacred 2 that we had 4 different types of elemental damage instead of the direct proportional scaling that Diablo 3 does. For example, just increasing the damage of the weapon by 25% or whatever every time you increase your level and loot better gear. That's the thing. So yes, pretty much. That's the thing. That's the thing. Diablo 3 had already been launched by 2008, a lot of controversies surrounding it, but still successful. So, Drakensang, we'll see if Drakensang Online, just like, well, in the case of Sacred 2, it was pretty much finished by the time Diablo 3 was released, because it was 2008 as well. But this one had some years of headroom since the release of Diablo 3. We'll see how much of that influence impacted it, because we can see that it had some years of gap between the release of Diablo 3 and the release of this one, giving the developers a bit of time to perhaps adjust to the controversial success of Diablo 3. It was still a success in that sense, economically speaking. In terms of mechanics, it dumbed down the genre. I think it was quite negative, and the reason why we have a lot of mods for Diablo 2 that enhance the abstract complexity appropriately, like expanding the skill tree and the types of elemental damage that Diablo 2 has that weren't taken into account in Diablo 3. Okay, so, but let's get to the case of today, people. Drakensang Online is a freemium role-playing game developed and published by Bigpoint. We'll get into the story, into the history of the developer in a moment. But first, was an open beta, retail, blah blah blah. Takes place in the world of Drakania. This drew my attention. This is quite interesting because if you remember, the tabletop game was based on the world of Aventuria, so technically it's different, but players do the role of a character, Dragon Knight, Ranger, Spellweaver, or Steam Mechanicus, and discover cities, dungeons, wilderness areas in the 11 different regions of Ankara. We are not going to play all of the expansions and everything. We'll just try to finish the main story. Drakensang Online was awarded the Duscher and Wickel Prize, that's in German, I have Spanish and English, but at highest level, but not German, award as the best German role-playing game and the best browser game. This is also interesting. It started as a browser game, and it's still a browser game. That does not mean that it's a mobile game necessarily. The thing is that precisely it uses the browser as the main platform to develop it as the base to develop the game. There have been a lot of cases like this. For example, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, MU Online was like this, and a lot of Korean games that followed this philosophy were also like this. So this also gives us the idea that they brought some influence from Korean games from Korean MMORPGs, in that sense, that were also isometric generally. In that sense, think about Lineage 1, for example, or as I said, MU Online, basically. Gameplay. Let's get into the interesting part. Drakensang Online is very similar to the Diablo franchise and other comparable titles. Here, they mention the isometric perspective, but they don't classify the genre, because they don't know, sadly. They don't know. Most game reviewers don't care about genre classification, and that's essential to establish the comparisons then, because you cannot compare games from different genres in a direct way. Maybe you can compare one element or one or two elements, isolated elements, but not as a whole. So in that sense, it's for now, well, we'll get into the gameplay. I haven't played the game, but if it's like Diablo 3 is still an isometric action RPG in that sense. It incorporates elements from the MMORPG genre, as it says here, but technically it's an isometric action RPG because of the cooldown times and the level design. We'll see about that. I disagree that Diablo 3 is an MMORPG. It's an isometric action RPG with online elements. To be an MMORPG, it needs to have embedded in its combat the timing and the cooldowns of an MMORPG, similar to World of Warcraft, which is the one that redefined the genre, after all of the isometric games that came before it. So, and Diablo 3 doesn't have the cooldown times of an MMORPG. It has the cooldown times of an isometric action RPG, for example. In the case of Sacred 2, it does have the cooldown times of an MMORPG. That's why it's an offline MMORPG with isometric perspective. That one, yes. But Diablo 3 is an isometric action RPG with MMORPG elements. It's the opposite case. Why? Because the cooldown times and the point-and-click system pacing of the gameplay mechanics is that of an isometric action RPG. It has hack and slash action combat. It's not based on tab targeting timings of the cooldowns of the abilities, even if you don't use tab targeting. See that I care about the inherent objective existence of the mechanic in that sense. So see why I first do the genre classification. It's a very delicate and interesting topic that I love discussing. At the beginning of the game, the game creates a player, blah 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 blah. There is also a guild, blah 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 blah. Yes, like an MMORPG, it incorporates MMORPG elements, but what defines it is the gameplay mechanics in combination with the level design. First of all. Then, also another thing, Diablo 3 is not open world. An MMORPG, by definition, has to be open world as per the redefinition that World of Warcraft did of the genre. And no, the fact that I have this banner here doesn't mean that it's because I'm a fan of World of Warcraft and I cannot think of another one else. The one that I play the most is, and you can ask, it's a Star Wars: The Republic. It's not a World of Warcraft. But I can recognize that this one is the one that objectively redefined the genre. Why? Because previous to World of Warcraft, Dungeons games would copy the tabletop 3.5 versions of Dungeons and Dragons, and then World of Warcraft was so influential, even if it's not my favorite MMORPG, mine is Star Wars: The Republic, it was so influential, World of Warcraft, that Dungeons and Dragons 4.0 was based off the game, the video game. It was based off of World of Warcraft, not the other way around. And we could see that previously with our analysis of Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 with Drakensang 1, it was the other way around. It was the tabletop game being copied to create a video game, like Baldur's Gate, like Icewind Dale, like Knights of the Old Republic, like Drakensang 1: The Dark Eye, for example. Okay, it's freely explorable open world, similar to medieval Europe. Alright, that's a constant element, same, which mimics Drakensang 1 in that sense. For faster progression, can use in-game virtual currency called Adornment. Okay, we are not going to do that. It can be about real money, free-to-play principle, etc. Okay. Yeah, pretty usual shenanigans of free-to-play games. We're going to ignore all of that. We will do the story. We'll try to complete it. Without it, we'll try to complete it just the main story, because I presume they do a lot of events and things to keep the game going because of the free-to-play nature. We are not going to focus on that. We are going to focus on completing the main story, the base of the game that they originally developed, putting the focus on the gameplay mechanics, the level design, the things that we usually analyze. That's the idea, people, because that's what will tell me the inherent quality, not the free-to-play principle and all of the events that they did afterwards. That is the key. I will care about the gameplay mechanics. Because with that line of reasoning, for example, Star Wars: The Republic has even worse monetization than this one, and it's my favorite game of all time. But if I could strip the game, from all of the monetization that it has, I think it has the highest abstract complexity of all of the games. That's the key. Okay, the roots of the project sprouted in 2008. release year of Diablo 3, I don't think this is a coincidence, when the German studio Radon Labs released the title Drakensang The Dark Eye, the one we played, precisely. Then in 2010, the successor is Drakensang 2, The River of Time, that I haven't played. But given that I got to experience the original game, I pretty much assume that they just fixed the problems of the first one. They were classic RPG games. They were classic RPG games that took place in the virtual game world of the Dark Eye. That's the real name in German. And pretty much the continent of Aventuria, and etc. In May 2010, Radon Labs filed for bankruptcy. I love this part of getting, not the bankruptcy of the poor studio, the part of getting to know the history of how the studio started and how it ended, or if it's still alive. So Radon Labs, the original developer of the one that we played, you can see there that we played, the Dark Eye, filed for bankruptcy. It was then acquired by Bigpoint Games. Bigpoint Games. Remember this name because it's the one that will develop Drakensang Online, and it was fully integrated in the existing studio of Bigpoint Berlin. They are in Berlin, the capital of Germany, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much, and they absorbed the original studio of Drakensang 1 alongside the license, I presume. In September 2010, the development of Drakensang Online was announced because Bigpoint did not acquire a TDE license. They didn't have the license. See how interesting. And only had ownership of the name rights for Drakensang. Okay. So they had the ownership of the naming rights of Drakensang, but not the complete license for all of the products. Okay. They developed a completely new game world, that's with an independent rule system which had no relationship with any of the predecessors with the tabletop game. Alright, so they didn't acquire the tabletop game. They don't have the rights of the tabletop game. They have the rights of the name. So that's why they had to change the gameplay mega. See how interesting. Wow. So they cannot create the tabletop. They cannot use the rules of the tabletop game. That's why they switched the genre. Interesting. Like all other Radon Labs titles, the game is based on the custom Nebula engine. We read about this when we played Drakensang 1. Check out the first stream in case you're interested. It was pretty much the creation of this newly created independent German studio back when it was created, and pretty much they created their own engine. They put in all of the effort. Clearly, these are the brilliant minds that were absorbed inside of Bigpoint Games are those that come from Radon Labs. Technically, they are the ones from Radon Labs that had the original rights of the franchise, pretty much. And they created this engine, I remember, which was meant for use in a browser, because Drakensang 1 was also made in this engine. The game is written in C++ and runs within a Java applet in the browser. Since Java is no longer supported by some browsers, a downloadable client was made available in April 2014. Yeah, of course. Nowadays we use generally either React or JavaScript, something like that. This is way too old. This is very, very old. In August 2012, it's very hard to develop for as well. In August 2012, at least for new developers like me, like you need a lot of experience because this is a more strict language. In August 2012, Drakensang Online released an open beta version, included virtual currency, and the game was able to start its business operations. Although it is a browser-based game, 2 retail versions were released, which include some items that were otherwise available in less expensive, including stronger armor, blah 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 blah. Yeah, well, the free-to-play shenanigans that we have seen countless times. The more expensive version, more experience points. Okay, okay. Let's get into the reviews, people. Let's get into the reviews. It received a positive reception by the German magazine GameStar for its high-quality graphics in comparison with other browser-based games. Yes, generally browser-based games were in 2D, as I've said. You can check out the prime example of a successful Korean MMORPG browser-based game that this one is clearly based the economic model on. Think of Lineage 1, not Lineage 2. Lineage 1, or I don't know, there was another one. As I said, MU Online, there are a lot of examples of browser-based games that this is a European release trying to copy the model of a South Korean release, because it's exactly the same in that sense, the business model, I mean. It received a positive reception. Overall, Drakensang Online was described as a frame-of-action role-playing game. A month after its release, more than 850,000 or 850k accounts were created. It has frequently been cited as one of the best new browser MMOs upon release. In 2011, Drakensang Online was awarded the Duscher and Wickler Prize Award as the best German role-playing game. In 2012, it won the Best Browser Game Award at the Duscher German computation, computer science, German computer science, something like that, and was described as an outstanding German game production. Okay, all right. Okay. Let's get into the developer, people. I want to do an autopsy of the developer. Well, not an autopsy, because it has to be still alive. Or maybe it was acquired, I don't know. Bigpoint GmbH. Alright, remember, they absorbed the original team of Radon Labs, the creators of Drakensang 1 and 2, not the rights for the tabletop game, only the name, changed the genre, and went for this game. It's a German video game developer, the company, but let's see what they had done before doing this move. The company develops standalone browser-based games as well as social network games. Bigpoint has over 200 million registered users. Yeah, a lot of companies announce that. Generally, it just means accounts. In addition to its headquarters in Hamburg, Germany. Alright, they are no longer in Berlin, I guess. Ah, yeah, they maintain their offices in Berlin, San Francisco, Malta, and Sao Paulo. They are in Brazil. Okay, there's the north. There's the north, in case you don't know. When you look at my window here, this is the north. You are all over there to the north, and over here and over there the south. In case you don't know. And I'm looking at kind of like at the Atlantic, like this. Like this is the Atlantic, and behind me the Pacific. In case you don't know, because of the orientation of my apartment. Germany's second. There we go. Some of the company's games include Battlestar Galactica Online, Farmerama, Drakensang Online, Dark Orbit, and Sea Fight. Okay, out of all of these, the most known is precisely Drakensang Online. The studio. Oh, there was a bigger fish, people. Was acquired by Yosu Interactive in 2016 and continues to operate as an independent subsidiary. Okay, they are still alive. They are keeping Drakensang Online alive, I presume. Keep it. Wang King, Liu, Michel Su. They could have been bought by Chinese capitals. Could it be? Yeah, Yosu Interactive in Asia, in America. All right. Okay, I get it. Okay, so they were acquired by this one, and this one what is it? Yosu Game. Yeah, this is Chinese. Look at this. Yeah, it's Chinese. It's a Chinese company. It's a Chinese company that acquired them. Suhui District, Shanghai. Yeah, pretty much. They were acquired by Chinese capitals that release that acquire MMORPG. Yeah, pretty much had the profile. Okay, so. And they left Bigpoint GmbH to operate Drakensang Online in that sense. Okay. In 2002, the company, but let's see the history of Bigpoint that acquired Radon. Was founded by Heiko Hamburgs as M-Wire GmbH in Hamburg, Germany's second largest city. This company with a football management game in which every player transfer would cost a small amount of for famous player. Remember, was Ice Fighter, an ice hockey management simulation. Yeah, very, very, very German. They are all sports that you pretty much require to know and everything to play them, and etc. Yeah, pretty much. European private group, General Electric, bought out 70% of the share. So General Electric, as you know, this most of a lot of American and European devices are made by this company, by General Electric. I have several here. Okay, so it's precisely it was German, right? No, it's American. It's American. It's American. Okay, it's American. There we go. Okay. TA Associates and partner. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Yeah, it's a company that was, and at the same time, the original leader of the company stepped down as CEO in 2012. All right, that's related to something that we're going to read about the Steam reviews. PHP, yeah, and Utility and Unity Engine, yeah, they were all base games. Okay, let's see if I recognize one of them. No. No, pretty much they are. I don't recognize the games. I don't recognize the games that they developed there. Okay. They have all been browser-based games. Basically, that's their experience. But I will presume that up until 2012, it was the members of Radon Labs that contributed to the development of the game up until the CEO stepped down. That's the key. Let's get into the meta. No, let's first get into Steam reviews because I want to link what we just read with something here. Look at this, and I've seen this like constantly. I miss 2016 Drakensang Online, man. Yeah, you will see that I found a lot of comments here. This is the main review page, main Steam review page of the game. And you will see that most of the comments are nostalgic for example, this one. This one is a bit more detailed. You'll see that a lot of the comments are nostalgic for the original version of the game, as it usually happens. For example, I also miss, I think, Star Wars: The Republic, for example, as a direct comparison, fucked up after 2.999, after 2.9 update. I would have never gotten into 3.0 and all of the rest up until 7.7, that is the current one that I'm playing on. A lot of people loved the original version of the game, and it's not a coincidence because it was before the original CEO of Bigpoint that had acquired the original team of Radon Labs and probably protected them. That's the key. Probably protected them to get the original talent translated into the game of Drakensang 1 and 2 a step down. That's the key. After the CEO stepped down, I see a lot of complaints that the game changed with the monetization and everything, but let's get into the reasons as to why people who have played it for a lot of time think that it was much better. And this one is very detailed, fortunately. Many people remember this game on how it was before the Dark Legacy. It was a fun browser Diablo-like game, isometric action RPG, or offline MMORPG. We'll see which mechanics of either of the two genres are more predominant. It had bugs, connection errors, but we still liked it. Well, pretty much. But Bigpoint is known to put a greedy move. letting go the community managers. Programmers, after each update, when the Dark Legacy was launched, it was the destruction of each mechanic one after another. All items you had on you 90% deleted in favor of new crafting items that are crap. All collected uniques items you collected in storage 90% deleted to grind again and craft crap once. Yeah, same happens with Star Wars: Your Republic pretty much. Armor colors were divided not by random but by their rarity. Standard ones, not uniques, non-colored, common, green and common, blue, red. Yeah, the classic. He just described the same as Star Wars: Your Republic, and the classic. It's the classic Blizzard item classification system, pretty much by Warcraft 3 and Diablo 2. Pretty much on World of Warcraft. Delete in favor of cash grabbing mechanics. You wanted you horned orange helm to wear well there he didn't express himself a bit very well. You can but you have to pay for it. You can but you have to pay for it. Alright, okay, they force real-time money. Thank Bigpoint, so up they asked for, nobody asked for, so any armor you get now is basically uncolored now. Crafting was long ago, but it was normal and fun, and items crafted are honestly garbage. When I checked for what you grinded, he doesn't express himself very well, but no matter. Gem combination needed 3 and 3, now you need dust that requires 3.5 gems to melt. Blah 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 blah. Drop rate lower to absurd, but alright, they changed the drop rate. Okay, there were millions of registered players, and online count was thousands of players back from 2011 to near 2018. And checking the amount of reviews, the article, checking the amount of reviews now it's just tier, including sad, ironic, that me and most of us who played it wanted it one time on Steam. Anger including only 508, and now 509 reviews since I wrote this. Is that normal? After more than the tenth of thousands that have waited for. Steam launch was a fail. Server disconnection, amount of disconnections have risen since I played. Blah 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 blah. Well, and here we have people. This is trash and deserves to rot. Here we have people complaining. 11th April. That's very close. That's a month ago. Old like me, maybe my 7 years of gameplay is destroyed and lost. Okay, we can see. Hello, District. Let's go, drakensangonline. Hey, now I get a sound when someone comments because I listen to a sound. Now I listen to hello, District. Yes, I decided to start with your case. I'm reading the history of the game. Did you know that the original CEO stepped down in 2011? I read the whole history. Thumbs up. Yes, there are sounds now when there's a comment. Hey, this is a pretty good feature that they included in Streamlabs. I get a sound every time someone comments. That's pretty good. Thumbs up. Yeah. I decided to start with the case. I'll do it either on Tuesdays or Thursdays. I think I'll do this one on Tuesdays, and then I will play Star Wars: Your Republic on Thursdays. And also the Ultimate 3D Showcase I need to do. So we'll do those. I cannot do Heroes of Might and Magic because that one is hexagonal turn-based strategy. That's the one genre I cannot. But yeah, well, I read a lot of details. In these 40 minutes. I read a lot of details. They absorbed the original developers of. As a summary, they absorbed the original developers of Radon Labs that were the ones that developed alone the Drakensang 1, which is the one that you saw me play. They absorbed it, and then they developed this one for some years, and then in 2012 the original CEO stepped down, and then it was acquired by the Chinese company that you mentioned to me the other day, which wasn't Tencent. Yuzu Games, something like that. It was. I just read it. You have the board with all of the things that I read, and I'm reading the reviews of people precisely. I'm highlighting that they are complaining about how the game was precisely before the original CEO stepped down. So I will focus on the gameplay mechanics. I mentioned this at the beginning. I will focus on the gameplay mechanics, the level design, just like I do with the other cases. And as you can see, people, there's a clear difference between how people regard the game previous to the CEO stepping down and after it. That's the key. The original CEO of Big, which was it? Which one was it? It was Big. What was it? The original name. It had a very weird name. Hey, Flying Energies, how's it going? Yes, District and I had a chat the other day, and he requested me to play the game. The negative comments are exactly from the year when they sold the game to another company, to Yuzu Games. I read the whole. You have the whole history at the beginning. You know that I always take the time to read the whole history. Bigpoint GmbH. It's when they acquire. It's the one that acquired Radon Labs. That were the ones. Everything wrong when they did that. Well, the one that you are talking about is the Chinese Asian conglomerate Yuzu Games. Imagine playing DSO in 2015. Well, if it's a request, flying energies, I analyze, I do autopsies of games. After all, I'm like one of those doctors that analyze the corpses after they have died. That's the case, and analyze the mechanics and the levels. And no, I'll play the main story. I've already talked to District about it. I'm going to play the main story because I bet it has a lot of expansions and it's going to be endless. I'll focus on the objective abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics, like I usually do, and the level design and all of those, and the efficiency in the integration of all of those elements as I usually do with the games. So yeah, for me it's an honor whenever someone asks for a case like this. It's not the first time, and I love it for a case like this. Besides, we played the first one, so great opportunity. All right, let's get into Metacritic reviews in this case. If nothing else, look at the dates as well, ladies and gentlemen, anyone watching this YouTube bot as well. 2012, most of the people here played the game exactly in that period of time in which the original CEO that I mentioned at the beginning was in charge after absorbing Radon Labs. And here there's a very interesting game mentioned as well, The Exiled Realm of Arborea. Another German production, just like I mentioned at the beginning with Sacred 2. And establishing a comparison, this is a very similar case to Sacred 2 and to another one called Torchlight, that in the third entry in Torchlight Frontiers tried to go the MMORPG route and it failed miserably, contrary to this one that at least is still alive, because Torchlight Frontiers was closed and it turned into Torchlight 3. If nothing else, says this professional review site, professional, people who don't even know how to properly categorize the genre classification, generally the professional gaming press, with The Exiled Realm of Arborea. Here is the problem. The Exiled Realm of Arborea, in case you don't know, it was a game developed by Ubisoft. It is true that it had a lot of contributions. It had a lot of contributions from the German division of Ubisoft in that sense, with all of the development studios, but it's completely different. It's an MMORPG through and through, like World of Warcraft, with a third-person camera, in which it was the first to incorporate the combat of a Skyrim to the MMORPG genre, changing the tab targeting combat. So yeah, pretty much very similar to Diablo and its king, but it's but with a cheeky Elan. It's basically free, blah blah blah. Let's get into the reviews of the not this one, the user reviews. Let's get into the user reviews, if there are any. Let's get into the user reviews. But well, the person says that Bigpoint Games did a lot of things correctly. For example, there are no user reviews. Okay, they must be old and they must have they must be lost in time, or the page is broken or whatever. But the point is, people, that the game was successful originally. It probably in the long run still has been, because it generated a lot of money. But as I've said, as we could read, the gameplay mechanics, pretty much. So we're going to play the story through and through. We're going to play the story through and through. There we go. Thank you. I don't want to listen to myself. We're going to play the story, analyze all of the gameplay mechanics, the level design, the degree of efficiency in the integration of it, pretty much, and all of the things that the game has to offer. So, I'll play it through Steam, so I don't have to create another account a million times. And then we will play also Star Wars The Old Republic on Thursdays. As I said, remember that the Ultimate 3DS Showcase in the middle, we'll do that one, and pretty much we'll have our hands full until then we can get to the next case of analysis. It will be a long time because we have a lot of things to do. Then we can maybe switch Star Wars The Old Republic for the next case of analysis, and we'll do both cases at the same time as we usually do since Sacred 2. Okay, so give me a second, because I shouldn't need an account because I have Steam and it should link that. I know that you cannot see it, but you should be able to see it. I'm launching it for the first time. You know that I like doing a cold boot of the game first time I do it. So I leave Steam running in the background like that. And I move just the client here. It will also be interesting to see. I don't think I need to create any other account. I think with this is more than enough. Yeah, as you can see, my usual animated background is not there or anything, so the experience is as smooth as possible for all of you, and then for the recording over at YouTube. So it's a smooth because I've seen my recordings over at YouTube and they are quite smooth. So I want to keep them that way. Okay. So, District had mentioned to me that I had to pick that server over there that is the most populated. Okay, so as you can see, this is quite interesting. It tells you all of the population. That's very explicit. This is terrible because with this, all of the people will tend to create the characters here, and then the other servers will slowly depopulate. In that sense, they should unify them. It would be amazing. You can do that nowadays with cluster servers. Okay, so I think I've already accepted all of the terms and conditions. Pretty much. That should be it. I'll have to configure the sound and the graphics for a sec, but shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be a problem. So let's see, people. Sorry that I don't have my usual animated background and everything, but yeah, I want it to be as smooth as possible because I don't know how the engine and the performance of the game will behave. So first, I need to measure that. That's why I also decided to do the first stream today so I can adjust all of that and I can see the sound level. So for Tuesday, when I begin, you can access Steam features from the overlay while playing. Okay, here we go. Let me see the first. Let me adjust the sound and everything. Let's see what we have. All right, I don't need a new account. With my Steam account, I can directly synchronize it, and link it. That's good, that's good. Okay. I presume it doesn't have copyrighted music. Well, we'll keep this one here so I can pay attention to the quality of the soundtrack. Very important for the grandeur category of the analysis. Improve full screen quality. Yes, this is ambient occlusion. Yeah, ambient occlusion. It needs to have ambient occlusion. Shadow quality at high should be more than enough. We'll see the performance, people. If it goes to shit, then I will change it. Don't you worry. I'll leave it as standard. My monitor takes care of those things. Remember, I have saturated colors on purpose, so caves are actually caves, and you don't see shit in them. That's the idea. It's very good for things like for cases like Skyrim or whatever, or Oblivion. Okay. I just want to ensure it's full screen. Never play a game borderless or non-full screen, because you are not letting the resources of the PC dedicate explicitly to that one. It's kind of like doing divided resources. No problem. Cooldown visualization. I may change this. I'm very picky with those. Show health points. That yes, it has to be on. It doesn't have a lot of graphics to take care of. Yeah, it's much easier to handle than Star Wars New Republic in that sense. Okay, let's see what we got. I remember that Flying Energies mentioned that this class is very OP and that it one-hit kills everyone in PvP or something like that. But that is just for the story in my case, so let's see what they have to offer. Let's see what the classes are. Spellweaver, Ranger, and Steam Mechanicus. Alright, only 4 classes. What's this? They gave me 600 in-game currency. Okay, interesting. I bet the name Eraser is not taken. Steam Mechanicus, Ranger. I generally play Mage in most games, so let's keep the tradition. Strength, Mighty Magical Powers, Weakness, Low Resistance, Battle Style, Range Combat from the second row. The successors of the first circle who banished the dragon from... Yeah, it's quite different when compared to the description of the first Drakensang. If you've noticed, they really had a problem with the license. Okay. You can choose that. You can choose the sex, either masculine or feminine. You know, people, I don't use that the word gender. I've explained it thousands of times. Alright. It's got basic personalization options, because I bet then the armor will cover it all. It's generally the case with all these games. Okay. It goes over the loop. Yeah, pretty much. Oh. Let me remove this one, this one, this one, this one. Hey, you need to have a bird. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, they look better with a bird. With a beard there. Okay. So it's Mighty Magical Powers, low resistance, so you get killed easily. You are squishy. Ranged combat from the second row. The Spellweavers, the successors of the first circle who banished the dragon from the underworld. I wonder if this is a reference to the first game, just with a different, because this is the key of the license. They cannot say Aventuria, which is the original tabletop game. How to mold the magical energy of the world, thus casting out oppressive battle magic. The spirit is mightier than the sword. Yeah, I don't want to get killed in one blow though, so melee power, no ranged combat, battle style, storm the enemy. The blood of the dragon runs through the veins of the proud dragon knight. Try to overcome this instinct, though it does give you incredible power in combat. Stay true to the ideals of the alliance. Okay, yeah. I'll play as mage. I generally play as mage. I generally play as mage in that sense. I love that we don't have wannabe gangster haircuts as we usually do in all of these games. This one is for toggle full screen. It's already in full screen, right? Let me see. Perfect. Yeah, full screen. Good. There we go. It's very light on resources. That's good. That'll make the stream even smoother. Okay. I generally don't use beards. generally, I go without beard. But yeah, here we go. This is pay to win mechanics. We'll see. I'll measure. I don't know why there's a cross there. Oh well. What about ethnicity? It's just the face, right? It's just the skin tone. Okay, let's go. Pretty straightforward. Alright, people. For the first stream, after analyzing the history of the developer, I want to focus on the early game gameplay mechanics. That is the basic combat system, the genre classification, and the first impressions. Right? So that's what we are going to focus on first. The gameplay camera is alright. Okay, let me see. Can I alt tab with this game or Fly Energies? Why is your game loading 10 years? Well, I don't know, Fly Energies. You tell me. You know the engine of the game. I can tell you about the engine of Star Wars: The Old Republic. I don't know why this one. Maybe because I put the shadows on high. I don't know. It does look good though, considering it started as a browser game. No SSD. No, I despise SSDs. I despise them. They are way too small. But no worries. Besides, most games don't require that. I have like 3. I have 2 of 10 terabytes plus 2 terabytes for the operating system because I don't like I download the games from Steam from which was the other one, the Epic Games launcher, and all of them in case internet connection goes to shit and I can still play. I don't trust that. I'm very old school, sorry. I know it will sound like a paranoia for a lot of people, but besides, it doesn't have to do with that most of the time. It has to do with the textures, and I have two 3080s, so it shouldn't be a problem. It's generally a problem of more modern games, not precisely this one. Generally, this happens. Why no 10 terabyte SSD? Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. And if it exists, I bet the price, the relationship between price and how and what I can get off it, it's terrible. 10 terabyte SSD, that would be cool, but it doesn't exist. I think the maximum was 5, something like that. And besides, I don't know if I told you, Flight Energies, I'm a software developer, so I also use it for all of my work. Actually, for all of my work. Yes. Besides teaching English, and I don't work as a lawyer. I am a lawyer, but I don't work as a lawyer, and I never liked it. I finished the career and said, well, here's the degree, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. So yeah, I store all of my software development projects there. I store them there as well. So yeah, it's basically also the tool I use for work in that sense. Attack of the Underworld. Get back, you beast. Oh, why, you're no beast. You're one of us. Have you traveled from one of the Alliance's faraway strongholds? I got caught up in the fray, so I don't know exactly what happened. I do know they need as much. Besides, SSDs have a terrible problem. They have a terrible problem. They are technically flash memory, like micro SD cards, and that makes them a bit more prone to having to format them every few years. Instead, mechanical discs are slower but more reliable. That's why I also wouldn't place my main software development stuff. I have a Samsung 980 Pro NVMe SSD 2 terabyte, works amazing. Yeah, it's very much faster, but I hate formatting. Like one thing is 2 terabytes, and then in my case it's formatting with all of my software development uh, uh, projects and work stuff. Uh, in that one, I wouldn't like it. That's why I have copies in mechanical disks. So yeah, if they created a 10 terabyte SSD, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. But yeah, I got up in the fortress. No time to waste. Quest guidance. Now this is going to be interesting. For now, you have the map constantly there. I wonder if with tab you change something. Okay, here's the progress, events, leaderboard, social features, map. Perfect, there, remove the map for now. You can click shift, left click to shoot without target enemy. Perfect, like Diablo. Got it. Perfect, like Diablo. Okay, pretty much. Let's see, first enemy. Left click to attack a monster. So we have here the character, okay. PvP title, yeah, pretty much. Memberships, veteran rank, perfect. The journal here, perfect. I'll need this one. Okay, so the offline, the single player portion is to the left. Then we have the shop that we don't care, and then the online portion is to the right. That's pretty well organized. Let's see. All right, pretty standard, like in Diablo 3. There we go. All right. So far, I can perfectly see the influence of Diablo 3 here, people. I can perfectly see the influence. Besides that gap of years in which Diablo 3, remember, controversial and complete quest about the quest of keeper head, and you have to deliver a quest item to the person. Okay. Now, here. Halt! Who goes there? I see. You are one of the new spellweavers. I am so relieved that you are here. We need all the guns, magic wands, we can get. Whatever you do, keep your wits about you, young man. The enemy is all around. They've even made it to the inner wall. Okay? Make haste, spellweaver. These creatures have stormed the fortress, and we cannot keep them at bay. This is an awful wailing coming from the high hall. Hurry, Helpmaster Bithrante. Okay. By the way, in advance, thanks Flying Energies and District for any help you give me throughout the course of the game regarding what it does and on whatever, pretty much. I would do the same with you if you played Star Wars: Your Republic, without a doubt, in that sense. Okay, health points. Your character's health points can be seen here. Run over a healing sphere to heal damage. Ah, yeah, the one that we saw previously. For now, we are at full health. Hey, this is interesting. I only see 5 quick slots. That would imply a shorter rotation than what you could have potentially in Diablo. Yeah, the healing spheres. Okay, there we go. Pretty much. So let's see. Besides people, I wanted to do the first, let's say, prototype stream today, as I've said, to measure the sound and how the game behaves, pretty much performance and sound. So on Tuesday I can adjust them because sometimes the sound is quite different depending on the game, like the bass sound that it has, and generally that's very uncomfortable if it's not properly. Oh, we got a stun here. No, it's a script, dude. The stuff is mine. Right? Let's see. If I keep it pressed, perfect. If I keep it pressed, I can do like in Diablo. Correct. Well, so far the gameplay mechanics are much more similar to an isometric action RPG rather than MMORPG. But I want to see, I want to get to the abilities to see the cooldown times, because the cooldown times are one of the key elements. I analyzed this when I played Sacred 2, that perfectly establish the difference between isometric action RPG and MMORPG. Because if it's more hack and slashy and fast, it leans more towards isometric action RPG. Sacred 2, for example, was a bit slower, so it was more. That's why I ended up classifying it as offline MMORPG, even if it has an isometric view. Attack of the Underworld. Ah, young Spellweaver, my son, it pleases me that you are here. Someone has opened the Underworld portal and stolen Grimmag's enchanted staff. We have to do something. Yeah, we just saw it with our very own eyes. Must have Bithran there. Grimmag was the first of our kind. The spell. It reminds me of Titan Quest even more, the gameplay. It reminds me even more of Titan Quest than Diablo 3 because of the pathfinding animations. The pathfinding animations are a bit more similar to Titan Quest in that sense. Diablo 3 was more hack and slashy and more floating in the animations in that sense. The Spellweaver, so his enchanted stuff is an important artifact for the Elite. With my friend, no question. I will teleport directly to the Fortress Forge. Meet me there. Okay, let's go. Oh, and we teleport and whatever. Pretty much, you. That's the thing. I can see so far two elements. Two elements. Alright, there. Now it was faster. It was that the game was caching. It's how the game caches the textures. Because if it was the SSD, it would need to be. It would have to. It would be related to the open world, not loading in that sense. It's how it caches the textures. Alright, let's see. We must uncover what the cultist has planned for the enchanted stuff. The eponymous Grimmag is entombed in Grimmag stone. This can't be a coincidence. The gateway here leads to Grimmag stone, Eraser. For centuries, we have laid our people here to our eternal rest. Strange that the gate is locked. I wonder why. Anyways, well, it would be a bit more natural with an S. We must make sure that everything is okay. Grimmag's enchanted stuff can do a lot of damage there. Okay, here we go. 3 mighty spirit guard received. Let me see it must have an inventory somewhere. Journal skills inventory. There we go. And there we have the character stuff. Right, the UI is quite similar to Diablo. First, second, I wonder if there's a way to make it smaller. Like this is way too big. This was very common in games back then that had yeah, I know, and your key bindings and everything. Yeah, it was very common back then that the game's user interface wouldn't adjust to the resolution. It was very common. Good day to you, fine sir. I'm not sure you've heard, but there's some strange happenings afoot. First I were growling in ruins. Don't suppose there's any way you can get to Grimmag Stone. Spellbearers used to have the key, but where is it now? I couldn't say. Pretty much. then the key has disappeared from the fortress. I can forge you a new one, but I'll need blue steel and wood from the pilgrim oak for the fire. Oh, and the opening spell. You can find what I need in the ruins of the first circle. Okay, we got here the quests. Sacrilege in the pretty much the main quest and a side quest. There we go. Ah, we have a skill. Oh, we have a skill tree there. Oh, quite interesting. Well, we'll take care of them once we learn a bit more about the game. For now, let's not worry about that. We'll have plenty of time to analyze the mechanics that the game has to offer. So far, you click on the arrow to transition. Pretty much. Okay, good. So far, people, this is 100% isometric action RPG. We'll start looking at the reasons throughout the course of the first days of the analysis. Mana. Spellweavers need mana for particularly powerful spells. Mana regenerates over time. Okay, pretty standard economic system for the resources. And yes, because of the shape and everything, this game, so far, what I can tell you, the level design is that of an isometric action RPG, not an MMORPG. It has MMORPG mechanics, yes, but just like I mentioned with Sacred 2, the proportion and the degree of efficiency in the integration of the mechanics. You can see that this is a semi-open world instance. It's not like World of Warcraft, to cite the epitome, the paradigm of the redefinition of the MMORPG genre in that sense. So far, the level design and the mechanics are those of an isometric action RPG with MMO mechanics like Diablo 3. Even another thing that I wanted to highlight as a first impression, is that the pathfinding, the way the character moves, and the relationship with the animations, is that of Titan Quest. So far, the most similar one in feel is Titan Quest and Grim Dawn, precisely. Even more Grim Dawn, because it's a bit more of a modern incarnation of Titan Quest, because it's the same team with the same improved engine and everything. So it's more like Titan Quest than Diablo. Diablo, if you notice it, Diablo 3 is more floaty in the animations when you run or when you attack. It's a bit more floaty, like more hack and slashy and fast as well. But by floaty I mean that the steps don't have weight to them. Here I can see that the steps of the character do have weight to them. It takes some time moving in that sense. You must be thinking, well, moving in all games takes time. No, but pay attention to the animation and the relationship with the pathfinding, how it moves. It doesn't move like in Diablo 3. And you must be thinking, well, that's so stupid, who cares about that? It's very important, especially in this genre, because here we don't have tap targeting combat. Here, it's a point and click system, like Diablo 2, in that sense. As you can see here. So we'll see. As I've said, we'll play the main story completely. We'll play the main story without events, without the online portion of it, because I want to focus on how it balances the original experience, the one that all of those players over at the Steam reviews cared about, and it was the original thing. You like the game? Way too early to tell, District, but yes, I can tell that it's a genre that I like in general. It's a genre that I like. I was going to play The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, and it's quite similar. It's quite similar. So far, it's a smooth experience. It reminds me of Titan Quest more than Diablo. I don't know if you played Titan Quest, I have to do a run of Titan Quest because I have a problem. I finished it completely on the base difficulty, and I need to play it on mid difficulty to play all dungeons on normal difficulty. Other difficulties are hard. Correct. Okay, we'll do it on normal then. Yeah, I presume the other ones will require extra gear and etc. No, so far as I have been mentioning this trick, the physics and the animation, this is Titan Quest 100%. Titan Quest and Grim Dawn. Extra gear or party? Okay, got it. Yeah. Because of the pay to win mechanics or whatever. No. I'll focus on the mechanics. What I usually do, as I've said. Um, Pretty much. Imagine playing Diablo 1, sorry, Diablo 1. Diablo 3 only once on the main difficulty. Pretty much that's it. That's what we're going to do. Up until I complete the skill tree, I guess. One run of the original experience. The physics, I can tell you this, as I've said, is Titan Quest. If you play Titan Quest, it's the one that feels the most similar to, precisely because of what I had been mentioning. Um, in a lot of isometric action RPGs, like Diablo 3, the movement is a bit more floaty and hack and slash. This one still has the influence of the late 2000s physics system. Titan Quest 100% is the greatest epitome that you'll find as a direct comparison. Is a prime example. The character here moves exactly like in Titan Quest. And in terms of the level design, I have been mentioning that as a first impression, having some minutes in, this is an isometric action RPG. Even if it has MMORPG mechanics and PvP and etc., the level design is composed of instanced dungeons. So the reviewers that said it's an MMORPG is, I would first say they are wrong. It has elements of MMORPG mechanics of the level design precisely, but it has some influence because you can do PvP. I see there it has social features, leaderboards, it has party dungeons, I presume, but those elements don't affect the core degree of efficiency and integration of the gameplay and with the level design and everything. I see this, and this is Diablo 2. This is an isometric action RPG with online features. I talked about the whole story of the game at the beginning. That it absorbed the original developers of the first game that I showcased of a tabletop game, and added the developers of big games, the company that absorbed it, the German company, not the Chinese one, and pretty much that's the case. And those added the isometric RPG elements. The gap of years between the release of Diablo and this one is also quite interesting. Always think of this: Diablo 3 2008, Titan Quest 2006, and this one 2011. I just read. So there's a gap of years, and they went for the formula of Titan Quest and Path of Exile, as far as I can see. It also moves pretty similar to Path of Exile, and both Path of Exile and Titan Quest followed Diablo 2 rather than 3. They were kind of like the answer to the changes of Diablo 3. That's the case. Oh, good, right here. Pilgrim Oak, Blue Steel and the Spell. The forge is glowing hot, so I'll get started and we can put this mess behind us. Here, you should be able to enter Grimmag Stone with this key. Be careful, Oak. Okay. Correct. We had another quest, right, though? Speak to the master. Okay, I had to speak to the other guy. I know, it's the same. Pretty much. Oh. I don't know if it works on your PC, people, but I can see 3D positional audio there, I can hear the forge. Hang on, I did this with Dungeon Siege 3. I bet you can hear it only from your left ear pad because it works at YouTube. I tested this because the 3D sound of my PC enhances it. I can perfectly listen to it. Right, and here should be center and left. No, there I can see it left. Okay, it has already positional audio. Good. They incorporated that. Good. Good, good, good. There is clear. And it also measures the distance. Okay. Sacrilegious in Grimmag Stone. Not only are the under magic creatures attacking the ruins, trees are transforming, and beasts of slime are rising from the ponds, the power of the underworld is changing the environment. Okay. Whatever the veiled cultist has planned, it's nothing good. We must stop him, Spellweaver. The smith's key will grant us access to Grimmag Stone. You go ahead, I'll meet you there. Okay. The blacksmith is a merchant. You can sell items you no longer need to merchants. Okay, then we'll care about the economic system of the game, etc. Ah, yeah, pretty much we are just looting basic stuff. Okay. Perfect. Let's see. Yeah, the first thing that drew my attention, people, if I had to say first, is how the physics handle. It's like Titan Quest. Titan Quest and Path of Exile as well. Hold shift and you carry the character, we are moving. Yeah, perfect. What Flying Energies told me previously. Hey, he's accompanying us. Hey, I see elemental types there. Interesting. The elemental system of the game to analyze it, it'll be quite interesting. I see poison, frost, fire, lightning, strength, something like that, and arcane, something like that. Okay. And I bet the one that is in red means that it's weak, and the one that is green means that it's weak, and the one that is red is resistant or something like that. Okay. We'll have time to analyze all of those things, people. I just wanted to do a prototype stream to kind of like the first part of the first stream to take care of the history and the basic. Oh shit! Yeah, there we go. Sorry, it almost blew my ears. I forgot to lower the volume. Not you, because I kind of like have 3 volume controls there. There we go. Okay. Ah, we got some spells there. Ah, we got some spells, and I think I've been using them. Or not. Hang on. Yeah, that one is different. That one's different, people. Yeah, I get the point. I bet it must be... Ah, right click and left click mouse. Okay, I get it. It's exactly like Titan Quest, huh? Titan Quest uses this. Which is taken from Diablo. Let's see. So my left mouse click is the basic magic missile. Deals 120%, 75 points of your base damage as physical damage. And the other one is the ice missile. It deals a bit less, but it inflicts frost, and the frost debuff applies a reduced movement speed by 2%, reduced attack speed, and then for PvP, and it stacks up to 50 times. Hey, that's quite unusual to have that stacking amount. Quite unusual. Let's see. Quite unusual. Let's see. That's quite unusual. That's quite unusual to have 50 stacking amounts. 50 stack. You can stack a debuff 50 times right at the beginning of a game. That's quite unusual. That piqued my attention. Like, that's a bit too much, generally. Escape. Unlimited level for a certain distance. The tail will stop following you and heal completely. Okay. The very important. The what was it? The detection range of enemies. The detection range of the enemies. I think this one gets through them. Okay, that's not included in the description, I think. Or was it the other guy? Cannot tell. Because of his missiles, it automatically equipped, right? Yeah, it automatically equipped. Lasting heal potion. Consume when used. Well, we'll see, we'll see. Well, then we'll have time to take care of all of those details. The relationship between the usage of potions and the gameplay mechanics, pretty much. Is it consuming mana? Ah, if I just keep pressed, it's constant. Okay. Oh. So far they balanced the game perfectly, so new players do one-hit kills. Interesting. That's how they capture you, people. That's how they capture you. Then they crank up the difficulty to the maximum, and your character goes to shit. That's the idea. It's always like that. Yeah, it definitely gets through because the impact animation doesn't stop there, pretty much. Let's see. Here we go. Nothing else. I bet if I just over farm for the experience, it will be enough to finish the main story, I presume. We'll see. That'll be interesting to analyze alongside the balance system of the game. Okay, perfect way to teach you to use the one that gets, yeah, it gets through. It gets through. That pierces enemies. Sacred 2 had something like this for the hunter, that it had an arrow that found Grimmag's grave. Let's see. Okay, that's it. I bet this needs to be identified. Ah, you identified immediately. Does it consume something, this? No. No, it just identifies immediately. It identifies immediately, far as I can tell. Pretty much. You don't need any extra object to identify it. Pretty much. You don't need anything else to identify it. Alright. Oh, we have fire footsteps there. Okay. Let me test something, people, now that I've killed the demons. Let me see if I have to Alt-Tab, because that's something I need to know. Oh, great, it works smoothly. You can have it full screen and 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 look at the and look at the stream perfectly without without all tabbing. Oh, it's magnificent. So it's actually borderless full screen, sadly. Oh well, it will be very comfortable for the stream, but still. It'll be quite comfortable for the stream, but still. It must have been... bones have been desecrated. He went that way. Let's see. There we go. Let's see what else we have. Chain lightning. Alright, we got an ability. Let's see. Like that. And you can just assign it. I bet. Okay. Let's see. I wonder if I can just substitute it with shift. It's generally with shift, like that. What about this? I think this is my setup for... You found valuable undermant. Certain merchants will offer you... so the in-game currency drops... The real life in-game currency drops... Drops there. Drops in the very same game. Quite interesting. Let's see. It chains. It deals more damage, right? 70. No, this one deals more damage. Pierces one enemy. Alright, it's only one piercing. It does one piercing only. Okay. Okay, I get it. It's only one piercing. Let's see. I don't like that it doesn't have soundtrack, for example, while constantly fighting. Alright, let's see. First boss. Oh, that's a huge difference. What about this? Ah, I bet it has to do with that. Or is it that it's weak to lightning? 26, 29... no. The red indicates that he's weak. He's weak. Look at the difference in damage. It's 30 and 18. There we go. Yeah. He's weak to damage. To lightning here. So red one indicates that he's weak. Definitely, yeah. Dead. Okay. You've killed my minion, but you will not kill me, man. Okay. We'll cross paths again, I promise you'll die then. Okay. Okay. I've been hit by Grimmag. It's pretty bad, young spellweaver. His corpse was like a marionette and something evil was pulling the strings. Still we won. The veiled one didn't do this on his own, and is far from over. Okay. The veiled one seems to have belonged to a cult of renegade spellweavers. They opened the portal to the underworld that Agathon sealed more than a millennium ago. Meet me in the Grimford Eraser. Okay. Got it. Let's go. Yep. Let's go. Perfect. Urban area transportation. Deceptive piece. Enter the smart. Yeah, it has a Steam achievements. 106. Oh, the first town. This is like the what was it? The Tristram of Drakensang. Allies in Grimford. Grimford used to be such a peaceful place. Now people are boarding themselves up for safety from the monsters. I'm weak. I will mind the stuff while you have a look around. Maybe the people here can be helped. Okay. Have a look around, Razor. The village bailiff, a pompous little man named Hoyt, used to be in charge here. Maybe he knows what happened and what can be done to help. Okay. Okay. It's like Diablo. The portals, like Diablo, pretty much. Pretty standard Diablo fanfare. Okay. Hey, that's another player. Okay. Father Priscus, priest of the order. Selection. Okay. I can just identify like this, like this. There we go. And there we go. Should do it. Ah, it's a long staff. Ah, it's like Diablo 3, this, but you can choose a long staff or the other one, okay. What? There we go. Troublestone. Hey. So that is that's the whole region. Level 9. Level 21, yeah, apparently the main story goes up to level 29, something like that. 21, 17, 21. Nice. Yeah, definitely different when compared to Aventuria, right? Like, they really couldn't use the license. Okay, boss dungeon, pretty much. Okay. So, my lord, can I help you? The pasture, see, attack man. Okay. Okay, got it. Concoction of corruption. Young man, I gotta find my freedom. I look for myself. Whatever she was. You're still here, aren't you? Heading to the pastures to look for Irna. She lives in the spring farm in the east. Okay. Pretty much. Pretty standard. This is the Tristram of Drakensang Online. Like, they really couldn't use the license of Aventuria, so they completely changed the map. Sir, yes, you there. I am in need of your help. It's my son, you see. I was here at the mine and I was just home tending to her little brother. Then the undead showed up and she fled, leaving us somewhere to hide. We took him to carry to find him. Okay, let's do it to get the experience. So we have to find the boy and the other things, the other materials for the other NPC. And then we have the main quest. Okay, perfect. Let's go. Let's see what we can do about it. We got all of the there. Swordfield pastures. Okay. So far, people, as you can see, the structure of the level design, it's 100% isometric action RPG. It has semi-open world instanced dungeons, like even more specific when compared to, as I've said, to Titan Quest. Titan Quest is more open world, even. This one is very instanced. It's very instanced so far. Maybe it's just the first zones. Press control, IF to highlight the items. No worries, I have pretty good sight, so I don't need to highlight most of the time. Hey, we got a fireball. Let's see. We have lightning and fire. Remember, apparently there is some kind of elemental system in place. Oh, another quest. A bailiff. Evil influence. Sorry, I'm so happy you are here. The dead are rising in the Swordfield pastures. Yeah, pretty much. Kill them. We managed to attack and center some of them. Set them on fire. They retaliated, burn the bodies. Okay, that's pretty much an instruction to use your fireball. Okay. Ah, this is a bit more open world. Look at this. Look at this. This one is a bit more open world. This one is a bit more open world. Oh, well, would you look at this? Oh, interesting. Oh, quite interesting. Look at that. The level design philosophy is varying in its degree. Would you look at that? Hey lad, I'm supposed to thank Grimford by enemies, but I lose magic gem that made my weapon way more powerful. I can leave my post. Yeah, pretty much. Let's find that. Alright, this is a bit more open world. I mean, it's a bit bigger. It's not open world because it's still linear in its design. If you pay attention, it's linear in its design. This is what we usually call semi-open world, BioWare style, pretty much. Hey, that fireball is quite good. And that creature killed. Okay. Hey, there's another player there. So the instance is shared. Okay. I wonder if the experience is shared. Okay, interesting concept. So the instances are shared and the level design is a bit more open world than at the beginning. Quite interesting. You burn the corpses, pile of corpses burned. Okay. Oh. So far the mana is not even taking a hit when I cast spells. So far the economic system is constant in its pacing. Pretty much. Alright, I have to burn the bodies. Right, true. And find the rest of the stuff. We'll do all of that to get the experience. So we have a smooth start for Tuesday. Pretty much. We'll do that. Hey, I see a flag there, a blue flag. Let's see what it is. Wonder if it's another of the objectives. Nope. I think I skipped some. I wonder what's the respawn rate if it's a shared instance, like in MMORPGs. I see. It's a shared instance, MMORPG style with there. Perfect. Okay. There we go. The quest structure is pretty much just like Sacred 2, for example. Sorry. There we go. It's pretty much like Sacred 2 in that sense. Found the leather pouch. Perfect. So, yeah, in case you haven't noticed, I like constantly clicking, even if then it's more comfortable to just press and move. I love clicking. I love the animation for the games that have this animation. See, Titan Quest needed this. I hated that it doesn't have that small circle animation when you point and click, for example. Alright, let's see. Found the gas. Interesting. The level design is turning out to be quite interesting. It's quite open world in comparison. Still not completely like a full-fledged MMORPG in terms of the predominance of the elements. But yeah, if I had to establish a direct comparison in terms of the size of the level design, it would also be Titan Quest, huh? It would also be Titan Quest. Titan Quest is also quite big in that sense. It's pretty much the same. No one's answering the door, seems nobody's home. Okay, what's this? We'll make it to the first portal and then come back. That would make sense. Hey, the soundtrack is beginning to shine. See, that's why I always like to set the soundtrack much higher than the sound effects. That's why I love doing that, so I can appreciate. I love that it's constant. It wasn't constant in the first dungeon. I love that it's constant now. Oh, already full. Should have sold my stuff. Yeah, destroy that. Oh well, anyways, it won't make a difference. Ah, right. The quest items are also thrown alongside the others. Interesting. Alright. There we go. They do block, that's for sure. Uh-huh. The pathfinding is quite smooth, though, I can see why people would like that. And then I go back and I turn in all of the quests, correct? Okay, got it. So this thing is our how you teleport, how you travel. On the violet color instead, that's all you will permit. Thank you so much, young sir. Pretty much you turn in your quests. You did me a service, I did a favor here, take those essences. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Oh, Gus, he's alive. Come here, my son. Thanks to you. Okay. So, I need to sell my stuff. So my inventory is not full. You? Perhaps? Can I sell? Right. You just sell and I'm getting... pretty much the same system of World of Warcraft. The currency system. Bronze, silver and gold. Like here? Copper, sorry. Bronze. Copper, well, it's right there. Okay, I get the point. Blah blah blah, yeah. I'll keep the potions just in case it gets out of hand. Okay, whatever. This will revive ya. Okay, and this one. I'll keep the consumables there in case I see the problem. All of the stuff is bought with a differentiate with the undermant, with the currency. Okay, I see a problem. Get the point? But it should be enough to finish the story. It should be enough to do the story, this one. What's that R there? What's that R? Urban area transportation. Okay. That's not like Diablo. I could have used that one. Okay, without the yeah, I get the point. I get the point. Okay. It's like Diablo. Burn all the corpses. There we go. Found your bag. There we go. Yeah. Adventurer's chest. Jimmy the guard. Well, we'll see. Can buy any gem in the shop. Click. Well, that's not a quest to kill stuff. It's just for microtransactions or whatever. So we'll see. Or maybe to teach you how to use a shop. We'll leave that for later, people. The item system and everything, I'll explore everything later. There we go. Quite interesting. Oh, there's another guy there that looks exactly like me. He needs to use fireballs though. He's not using his fireballs. Why? Fireballs are so cool. And it deals area of effect damage. Much more effective. Leaf. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Quite interesting. There's a bit of a lag when you click, in that sense. There's a bit of a lag there. There's like a split second there. See, that's why I would make all games offline constantly. That's why I would make all games offline, because that's the millisecond delay of the. Alright, that one I already activated it. So let's see the main quest. No, not that one. The main quest, this one. What? You can stop the quest? No. Talk to master. Ah, okay. Okay. Took a wrong turn. See, people? See why I first had to do this. Yeah, look at that. You have that. Does it show you the damage? Okay. Doesn't show you the damage. Ah, it's P. It has to be P. It has to be P. There we go. P. Okay. There we go. There. Okay. But I have the portal only open. Kingshill. Oh, wait a minute. Please help. Whatever you can on your way to the capital. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Assign the hotkeys. Yeah. Ah, with the elements. And you have 2 more talent trees and experience. Okay. Like this one is for single player. Like this one is for single player, and the other ones are for. Okay, got it. Yeah, get it. Get it. Let's go on. Let's see. Ah, look at that. Can I fast? Let's see. Alright, it indicates the way. With that, you can play without the map being constantly on. Like, it'll tell you where they are. Yeah, the map is more effective, I know, but still. Let me drink a bit of water. Hey, I love the update that they did for Streamlabs. Finally, something useful. That it makes a sound every time someone speaks. Finally, something useful. Finally, something useful. When I saw it updating, I said, well, another stupid crap that they incorporated. Finally, I cannot believe it. They incorporated something useful. Okay. How interesting, people. Have you noticed that the soundtrack constantly goes lower and higher depending if you engage or not? Quite interesting. Quite interesting. See? it goes it goes louder. Sorry. It increases as you engage the enemies, and it decreases as you can see here when you disengage. Pay attention when the next time I attack. Like, see, now it got lower, and when I attack, or is it constant? Yeah, it gets louder. Look at that. Amazing. That's quite good because it makes the soundtrack constant, and it follows it keeps in sync. It keeps synchronized with the situation that is happening on the screen. In that sense, it's synchronized. The soundtrack with the elements happening on screen. Okay, with the battle. You come for from Grimford, sir. Were the farmers able to get out in time? Kingshill should send help. Most of my men and women have already fallen. I'm afraid I can't abandon my post to call for reinforcements right now. A veiled form appeared and raised the dead. Many of us died in the first battle, including Captain Jeremy. Most of the undead are either coming from or gathering around the cemetery. When the undead arrived, the lights of Agathon at the old cemetery went out. The priests say that the power of Agathon within them protects us from evil. I'm desperate enough to try out everything if it helps, so please relight the flames. Okay, got it. Yeah. Well, pretty much, people. Okay. City of Kings. Okay. There we go. All right. Hey, I wonder if it follows a day-night cycle as well. Okay, we're here. I see this looks like the main hub where all the players are. Pretty much. There we go. Where's the map? Here. So, this is the main hub, I presume. Okay, the main base. Kobold Locker. Visit Kobold, the protector of treasure, to store your items in a locker. You mean this guy? Open locker? Ah, alright. You get kind of like a shared stash. Okay, good. Yeah. You can deal with that. Something worry, my lord. The children know well before it was your love. Find the sack. Okay. So I enter the well or another one? Well, we'll see. The main quest. I first need to update the main quest. I love that the soundtrack is constant. You must be thinking that's so stupid. No. For example, Diablo 3. Well, it does make it constant, but not lowering and increasing it, for example. Take out the bad guy, okay. So let's see. The main quest first. Defeat 20 undead around the old cemetery in Swordfield pastures. Like this. It should guide me, pretty much. Wasn't it the previous map in that sense? Yep, it was. Should take me there. At least the navigation system is quite straightforward. Okay. Ah, it has to be in a specific area. Alright, I took a wrong turn. Okay. Okay. Got it. Not these ones. It has to be inside the cemetery. Like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, good. Okay, got it. That should do it. Ah, but we have more objectives there. Yeah, better to start with a lot of experience, so... Yeah, that one. So we have a smooth gameplay on Tuesday as well. Hey, we have some dungeons here. Old Tomb Dungeon. Nice. First we'll focus on objectives, how they start the gameplay mechanics pretty much. There we go. Now we should be able to go back to the captain. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, I think I'll have to leave this on all the time. Like, yeah. I wish I could have a minimap. Lights are shining again. Let's hope that the power of the flame will give you away. My thanks to you. Okay, got it. What? It's not over. Sorry, until now. Okay, the source of the nightmare. Let me guess. Get into the dungeon. Yeah. Just as I thought, it was pretty much the only way left to go. 305 coins received. Okay. So far, I've been able to progress smoothly. Like, no pay-to-win mechanics. I bet those are for kind of like the end game, like in Star Wars: The Old Republic. I bet it's like that, in that sense. There we go. Alright, right. I should go for shift. Sometimes it does make a movement there. Okay. Yeah, but like this you are not measuring the exact moment. It's better like this. Let's see. Level 9. For now it seems to be scaling impeccably the mechanics. Let's see if this one kills me. This one is weak against all types. No, it will be dead in 4 blows. So far it's scaling perfectly. Yeah, a bit of a stun there. But so far it's scaling perfectly, yeah? Like, well, perfectly. It's pretty much that. It's like Underman Jackpot. God damn it. No, thank you. That's like a loot box or something like that. A very well, very well designed because it's very subtle loot box. All right, and that's it, pretty much. We go back. I wonder if there's a way to exit the dungeon. Kind of like with the fast travel or something like that. Pretty much. It has the physics of Grim Dawn and Titan Quest. So that's the very first thing. Hey, we got some new spells there. Alright. I know what to do. There aren't a lot of customization options for the character. We all look the same. In that sense. What? The leader of the Undead Captain was Captain Jeremy? Yes, he was. The build one must have called him Deadly Slumber. Thank you for letting him rest peacefully now. Okay. You should go to Kingshill. Okay, good. And now we move. We are done with this area. Okay. Pretty much as for our first area, people, it went quite smoothly. So far, the pay to win mechanics are not showing up. Fortunately, I guess. What are those things? Lucky pass entrance, special offer available. Ah, yeah, right. Pretty much. This guy? Yes, this guy. why? Why is the eye like that? Pretty like pretty weird. Like you need a lot of effort to do that expression in real life. Welcome, young member of the Alliance. The Grateful Order have been burned down. Hey, interesting. This time they used the British version of it, and previously they used burned instead of burnt. They used the American one. Like, different developers did this. How horrifying. Reports of the terrors have been pouring in from all over the time in the area of Sunkill. Sure happened. Okay. People do not trust our alliance. I'm not sure they realize we've always been prepared to face the threat out here. Chancellor Red Alwyn should hear about the terror from an eyewitness to understand the latest events to the whole extent. In the meantime, I will arrange support from Greenford. Okay, let's keep going. Please follow the path. Yeah, that's the point. We follow the path all the way to here. Okay, there we go. Chancellor, the fortress burned down. I will send as many soldiers as possible to Greenford. We are in a deep crisis. Rising dead in the pastures and wicked witches in Kingshill. Rosalind uttered something about foul water. I'm afraid it's their doing, so please ask Rosalind about their details. Okay, let's go over there. Let's see. Pretty much. The soundtrack is very well done. I like the soundtrack. That is constant. I don't have to help you. You see, we're on a world fell ill and deranged. Fountain trouble, but before he can give me any, he needs a sample of the cloudy water. The underground springs are located in the gloomy Hagastove Grotto. Well, yeah, you're the taint of the under magic. Okay. Okay. Event quests? No, we care about these first. Let's go over there. Collect the sample. There we go. Okay, let's just follow the arrow. For now. And now I can teleport. Fairground. This is the event Fairground. Whenever an event is running, this is the place to be. Yeah, okay, go. Got it. You cannot use skills in here, okay. So I cannot teleport in town. Okay, got it. Like Diablo 3, pretty much. What? No, but I need to go to the main story quest. It was the main story quest that I selected, yeah, just to be clear. It is one. Alright, so the first quest is a dungeon. Okay, this is what District mentioned. I get it. So we got normal, painful, monster damage 120, monster health points. I want to see what the different icons mean. First level 14. Yeah, let's see how it. Excruciating, fatal, infernal, merciless, and bloodshed. False memory. Well, yeah, perfect. This is pretty much once you've dealt with the rest. Okay, so the trick you mentioned, play the dungeons on normal. Are hard. Yeah, this one is 14. Yeah, we are still. Okay, let's do it on normal. So you have to do the dungeon first. Okay, got it. Okay. No, nice eerie soundtrack there, people. So far, the normal difficulties kind of like doesn't require pay to win elements at all. Nice glow there. I love the ambience of the sound. Let's see. Yeah, they die in one blow. It's also perhaps it's a bit too much to kill them in one blow. Like, what level am I? 10 and they are level 12. Okay. Perhaps it's a bit too much to kill them in one blow. If I had to nitpick, but yeah. Perhaps it's a bit too much to kill them in one blow. They could have measured it to be kind of like 2 or 3, I don't know. So at least they touch your health. I think in the case of Diablo 3 I cranked up the difficulty right from the beginning, without caring about gear. What the fuck? That's not definitely hard, right? That's definitely the connection there. Right, let's see. There we go. Level 11, okay. The animations, the impact animations do feel amazing, huh? They feel amazing when they impact. Like, it was that. With what happens if you press spacebar? What's this? Okay, interesting. Let's follow the arrow, people. Let's see about this. Pretty much. Like, if you like Diablo 3, you'll feel at home here. That's for sure. Hey, the soundtrack is quite amazing, eh? I love how it's constantly changing. Ah, this thing again. I love how it's constantly changing. There we go, there's the boss. Or was? Collect a sample of the cloudy water from the bottom of the well. Okay. Ah, it's a pretty huge zone. I bet that was useful. It must be this one. It's got to be this one. Bring the water sample to Grandmaster. Okay, good. Of course, we're not doing that. We're exploring the rest of this zone. As we go back, I mean. Hey, this chest seems different. Kitchen chest. What? Oh yeah, I forgot about my teleport. Hey, we got another one there. Frost charge. Sorry. Dash over here. Good. Okay, got it. Ah, that does use mana instead. But the recovery rate is quite fast. What happens if I keep it clicked? Is it instant? Yeah, it's instant. That'll make things faster, people. Let's see. There we go. Alright, I pretty much had to do the rest of the side quests. Bring back this one. Ah, yeah, this one is from before. Okay, yeah, let's go. It's alright. We did the quests that we needed to do. Okay, Rosling, I'm back. It was only the old and no, not this one. This one. There we go. The water sample to see if it was poisoned. Let's see. A water sample. Let me have a look. Just as I suspected, the water was sullied, by the dark powers known as Undermagic. Undermagic, you see, is a forbidden force of the underworld that corrupts everything and everyone it comes into contact with. Yep, pretty straightforward story. In that sense, the reward, I heard rumors that the witches in Hagastobe are practicing corrupt undermagic. I suspect those old crones did sully the water and know how to purify it again. One of them, Malza, has sought shelter in the city. It may well be she will rather talk to you about a remedy for our predicament. Okay, let's go. So far it's so smooth, the experience system, that I'm killing them in one blow. You don't even need to do side quests, as far as I can tell. Like, I am some levels below it, and pretty much that's it. and I'm not having any trouble progressing without doing the side quests on normal difficulty. Oh, look at that nose. That's a nose you don't want to have, people. Melissa read about the Crystal of Order. Why is she talking in third person? You should get rid of my sister's magic. Melissa, what's started building things on the Plunderberg. You'll find a greater chest there. Okay. Lead on. Lead the way. Ah, it's the same dungeon, I presume. Okay, let's see if... I don't require level 14. Okay, no, we can't. No, I will keep it at normal anyways. Let's do it. I presume it's the same zone. I don't know, just so they at least deal some damage to me. Like, oh well, we'll see. Sorry, people, it's my instinct to pretty much crank up difficulty. Yeah. I will be, for now it will be much smoother if we just do that. So far so good, they are one-hit kills. They are one-hit kills, pretty much. Hey, look at that. There's the boss again. It respawned. Level 12. It's quite smooth, huh? Crystal of Order found. Bring it to the font of all evil. Okay, got it. Uh-huh. Quite open world comparison. I love how they handled the soundtrack. Huh? I love how they handled the soundtrack. They use the same soundtrack, the same tune for each zone, but they change. They use different levels of volume. They use different levels of volume for each of them, depending on the situation on the screen, keeping the situation, keeping what's going on the screen synchronized with the pacing of the soundtrack. With the pacing of the soundtrack, pretty well done. In that sense, it's pretty well done. That sense is pretty well done. Sense is pretty well done. Okay. Sorry, I had to check a message. People, sorry. You know that I generally don't do it. I do it only when it's completely required. Pretty amazing enemy variety. Pretty amazing enemy variety so far. Each zone has completely different enemies. The animations are smooth. I love these animations from the early 2000s, from the late 2000s. Like before ambient occlusion made them all the same. Oh, these ones are taking more than one hit to be killed. The thingy here, these ones are beginning to take 2-3 blows. Good. That's good. They don't have resistances though. They could have applied resistances to even normal enemies. That's what we were looking for, I guess. No, we had to use the this one. Quest guidance is complete. So far, so good. And I can return with P. Got it. Nice physics for the grass and everything. Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. Pretty much. Let's see. This one. Greetings, Mon. How can I help you? Oh, found the realm fragment. You've come to the right man. I can exchange them for travels, paths to wondrous places if you have the right amount. Okay. This one is like the trolls in World of Warcraft. He speaks the same. No, I'm sick of this other quest. And I cannot remove it. Why is it that you can remove the main quest and not the side quest? That's... Full Moon Rising... 1 out of 5? What? Let's follow the path. For that one, let's see. Huh. People don't talk in this game that much there. In Star Wars Republic is kind of like constantly chatting. You purified the water of with the crystal of the order. I can't thank you enough. You not only saved the people of Kingshill, but also strengthened our reputation of the Alliance. Okay. An audience, Kingshill. Chancellor is very pleased with you. First Greenford, now Kingshill. I hope you will continue to represent our alliance in such a good way. The dangers yet to come might even be greater than everything we met so far. Okay. Let's go. We just activate that. And follow. Yeah, I generally don't like having a map constantly activated all the time, on all the time, like Chancellor. Good to see you, Razor. Thank you for saving Kingshill. Our beloved king has heard of your good deeds and wishes to speak to you personally. This is a great honor. Let's see. We keep going. Pretty much. King Harold, Kingdom Guardian. Your name is Eraser. Excellent. We have heard of your heroic deeds, of your displays of courage. We are most pleased to have such a brave man as yourself in our as our honored guest. The prince should know about you. He went to the crypt. Yes, the crypt it was. Okay. Talk to Prince Aldred in the Church of Kingshill. Good. Good. Very good. Let's see. I wonder why is it all only raining in this section. Okay, let's see. Here. The church. Oh, we are almost level 13. Let's see. They're praying here or what? Echoes of ancient memories. Click to activate. Okay. Upon my glorious return from this tantalizing maze of terrors, I shall invest all my acquired loot into the best minstrel money I can buy. Ballads, maybe even an old cheeky limerick shall return the adventure with evil force, explorer extraordinary. Okay. My father sends you. You are the hero the whole city's talking about. You the pastures. Nice. Then I'll take care of the skill tree and everything, people. Like I see how far I can get to without the without the without investing on the skill tree or anything. Undead monsters are at the Kingshill walls. The time has come for action. I spoke to the spellweaver Calice, and she counseled me to find the grave of the legendary king Heredur. Ah, that's hence why the name of the server, people. Aid me by bringing me a copy of the grave map from the catacombs. A Prince Temptation, Act 1, Chapter 3. This one is still 16. Okay, got it. Yeah, well. Let's do it. So far, they are doing an alliance against the Undead, the story so far. Trying to stop them. Pretty standard like in Diablo 3. Find Heredur's grave. The grave map near the old bridge. Okay, let's go. Let's see what we got here. Oh, what's that? Oh, good. This one is a bit tougher. Mobs first. There we go. Hey, good. The difficulty finally ramped up appropriately. Good. Good. Look at that. That's what I want to see. Okay. Very quite good. Give me a sec, people. Does it pause the game? No, it doesn't pause the game. Alright. That's the grave, right? Complete. Inform the prince. Okay, this is like Tristram Cathedral, pretty much. Interesting. One sec, people. One sec. BRB. There we go, sorry. Oops. Wait there. There we go. Yeah, my chair can go all the way back there, but I don't use it while streaming. Pretty much. Okay. Let me do this. Let me restart this. There we go. It's very comfortable to it's very comfortable to to switch with the stream though, huh? This game. I don't know what kind of it's probably borderless full screen, but pretty much you can pretty much check out your second screen without. Hello, Godless 97 years old. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I don't know why you say it, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. Pretty standard, Italian, pretty much Italian adjective. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Uh, Generally, the only ones that say those things out of nowhere are the there are a lot of artists on Twitch that sell their artwork for your Twitch channel and generally say things like that, but I trust you in your case. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I bet you two a great person and very handsome as well. Thank you. Uh, though it's hello, I am gay Romeo R6. Hello. By the way, thanks from the bottom of my heart to both of you checking my stream. I do metaphysical analysis, and by a request of a very dear viewer of my channel, after playing Drakensang 1, I am playing this one and analyzing it at the same time. Yes, it's Binding DSO. Welcome to DSO. Welcome. Yeah, in Star Wars: The Republic, a lot of people also do that. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I don't know if you are all friends of District and Flying Energies, but if that's the case, I also thank you two as well, District and Flying Energies. In case that's the case, thank you from one of my heart. They are, of course, friends of mine. So any friends of them are friends of mine as well. And thanks for welcoming me. Yeah, I'm basically also testing the sound for Tuesday. I generally do it do one stream. I read all of the history of the game after playing the first one, and I wanted to see a transition to this one. And they had Bay Eraser. Okay. Let's keep going, people. Let's keep going. I want to see the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics. Did I activate the quest guidance? Pretty much it has to be there. No, there it is. I have a feeling about this. Wolves and archers fend off the undead at the gates, but there are still Southlands below the catacomb. The disappearance of the High Priest has come at a bad time. I read all of the history of the game at the beginning of the stream in that sense. I do autopsies, I do metaphysical analysis of games for new viewers from District or from Flying Energies. Always thanks from my heart, but I do pretty much metaphysical analysis, as you can read from the title description. With a method called the Scholastic method, very old. It's medieval. I'm a scholastic philosopher. As you can read from the title description, it was pretty much the system that in medieval, precisely Italy, our ancestors used when the Roman Empire collapsed. Crazy stuff, but you'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. District has gotten used to it, so, and the rest of my viewers, pretty much from other games as well. So, yeah, pretty much. Heredur's grave. You are searching for the High Priest. Have you found anything yet? No. Pretty much. There's that. Let's turn in. Let's go for the main quest. Then I can worry about the item system of the game and the extra complexity of the skill tree and pretty much the rest of the things that I usually. I analyze things like the relationship between the level design and the gameplay mechanics. For example, if I'm fighting in a narrow passage, I analyze how much the character can maneuver and how that affects the difficulty of the game. The developers of Evencast Rise of the Mage and the Lord of the Rings War of the Ring and Dungeons and Dragons Dragon Shard have visited my analysis when I started my journey, And pretty much that's the story. They inspired me to continue analyzing games in a very different way when compared to the game press. Basically, just to have a general idea. That's the thing. Generally, um, game press does not care about these things. For example, I analyzed Sacred 2, another great game that I recommend to everyone. Um, Last year, it was the main analysis of last year, and Sacred 2 basically um, it's quite similar to this one, and I wanted to establish a direct comparison between the two because they are both German productions in the very same period of time as well. I also compare those things, and Sacred 2 was more similar in terms of the predominance of the genre classification to an MMORPG in its gameplay mechanics. Basically. And this one is more similar to an isometric action RPG. That's why I begin with the genre classification when analyzing the games, because objectively, I cannot compare. Imagine comparing something like, I don't know, Titan Quest to World of Warcraft. Like, Titan Quest, you could argue that has some elements that would also work in an MMORPG in that sense, but the predominance is isometric action RPG. Why? Because of the pacing of the cooldowns of the abilities, because of the influence of the level design, and precisely because of the degree of efficiency in the integration of that level design. With this, I mean that pretty much it's not as open world as World of Warcraft in that sense, and precisely your beloved game, Drakensang Online, pretty much it follows the same formula of semi-open world dungeons. Now, a lot of people must be thinking by now, watching this as a YouTube Bob, Eraser, but what's the point of that? That's stupid and evident. We all see that. No, it has a great influence. Because imagine that, like in Sacred 2, we play this game, and instead of having these instanced dungeons with limited room for maneuverability, it's open world. It's completely open world, and I can endlessly teleport away from the enemies. That directly impacts the difficulty. That's what I've been analyzing as as one of the defining elements in the genre classification. That, as Crypt of Kings, it has to be this one, right? Or inform back. Yeah, it has to be that one. Let's go back to town. Let's inform back and then come back. Basically that. The first thing that I'm noticing is that the physics work like in Titan Quest, more like in Diablo 3. I highlighted that at the beginning. And also the limited maneuverability in the dungeons. In that sense, the source of the difficulty, it's quite natural in games like this one or Hellgate London, for example, because you don't have a lot of room to maneuver, and while it may seem as an evident aspect, the evident aspects that we take for granted are the ones that are the most ingenious to develop. I mention that constantly when precisely when the developers of games visit my stream, for example. The fact that you cannot run away and you can be surrounded and killed, it's absolutely brilliant, because the source of the difficulty is not artificial, it's very organic in that sense. In Hellgate London or in Avencast, or even in this game so far, because of the brief period that I've spent playing it, it's like that. You get surrounded and killed. I still haven't been killed, but I bet we'll have an opportunity for that soon enough. The High Priest bodyguards have been killed by magic. Callis is much as sorcerers as these dubious Nefertari cultists. Prince Aldred must hear of this. He went to the catacombs to seek out the Heredur's grave. I will follow him. And then we go back again to... No, here. Here we go. Two of the bodyguards who accompanied the High Priest into the catacombs are dead. Now I'm really worried. He's the head of the church, Agathon's successor in the spiritual leadership of our land. Were he and the sorceress Kaelis abducted by the Nefertari cultists, or did Kaelis lure the High Priest into a trap herself? The High Priest of the catacombs were found in the crypts of Kingshill. Right? I don't know how you see there. Well, there, the dungeon that we just saw. There we go. Now we can get into the dungeon, pretty much. Then I will take care of the item system of the game and the skill tree and the abstract complexity and everything, all of the things that we usually do that we usually do. Um, pretty much, people. The first thing that I want you to highlight is that it may change, because then I can see that maybe we find open world zones, but because of the pacing of the of the abilities and the cooldowns, the predominance of the genre classification is more isometric action RPG than open world RPG, leading to MMORPG. It's like the opposite case of Sacred 2 in that sense, the level design, the philosophy of the level design. Um, the dungeons are instanced, and see how they surround me immediately. Right now we don't realize how the source of the difficulty is organic because of it, because I'm not receiving a lot of damage. But imagine, as I will crank up the difficulty, the mobs will surround me, and bet all of you experienced players of the game know it. The source of the difficulty comes from being surrounded, rather than the raw damage. That's one of the first impressions I wanted to mention. Because of how narrow the passages are, see how the influence of the level design is properly working on the gameplay mechanics. Imagine if I could just teleport like this endlessly, like in an open world. It would lower the difficulty in that sense. It's absolutely amazing always to pay attention to that relationship between the gameplay and the level design. That's one of the great things that the game that the isometric action RPG genre has as a big huge difference with the MMORPG genre. If you pay attention, think about World of Warcraft that I have there, though you know my favorite MMORPG is Star Wars: The Republic, but generally World of Warcraft. I use World of Warcraft as a common reference because it's the most popular one and the one that redefined the tap targeting combat in the MMORPG genre. Pretty much you can see that in World of Warcraft, the difficulty does not derive from being surrounded, because the physics work differently with the tap targeting combat. Like, you will generally be killed in MMORPGs that follow the philosophy of World of Warcraft in terms of the level design by direct damage. By direct damage, not from being surrounded, because of how the physics work. When you have the isometric camera, like this, in which the mobs see, for example, I cannot get through these mobs in World of Warcraft. In World of Warcraft and in Star Wars: The Republic, for example, you can get through the mobs because you will be killed directly by the damage. That has to do with the source of the difficulty. In that case of the damage, that is an element that constitutes the difficulty. One of the main epitomes of the analysis elements that constitute the difficulty of the gameplay mechanics and the influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics. Among all of them, the difficulty in terms of the gameplay. So yes, it's one of the main elements that I wanted to highlight as a first impression. Now, related to this and the first topic that I commented precisely, how the physics work, because if the physics are important, then how they work is even more. It's just like Titan Quest, if I had to establish a direct comparison. Titan Quest, or even Grim Dawn, because Grim Dawn is a bit more modern, made by the same studio. I highly recommend it to you, because you will feel that the physics are quite similar. In that sense, Grim Dawn, made by the same studio as Titan Quest. By the way, Titan Quest 2 was announced, people. We commented that the other last year when we played Sacred 2 with Antog from Discord. Always salutations to Discord members in that sense. So yes, that's the thing. The physics in this game are heavier than Diablo 3. What I commented at the beginning, when District asked me about the kind of like the first things that I've noticed if I like the game. The physics are heavier than Diablo 3, for example, to establish a direct comparison. in case you haven't noticed, the in Diablo 3 the physics are floaty. They're much more floaty, much more hack and slashy in that sense. Here I can feel a weight to the animation, to the impact of the attacks of the animations as the first impressions, as the first things I notice. How the weight of the physics, the impact animation of the attacks, and the walking as well. Hello, welcome, hello. I Techig, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being the 39th follower of the channel, and of course send my highs in case you are coming from District or Flying Energies. Tell them my highs, and always thanks, and thanks to you for being the 39th follower of the of the stream and giving me the welcome to the game. Yeah. District suggested me playing the game, and I was going to play the Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. That is back on Twitch. You mean Flying Energies or this? I bet you mean Flying Energies. Yeah. Great guy. Great guy. Great guy. They are both District and Flying Energies. Very kind. I generally play Star Wars: Your Republic. I analyze games like I do autopsies, as you can see, of games. I do metaphysical analysis. The developers of Havencast and Rise of the Mage, that's an Austrian game that I highly recommend. Another Diablo clone, and the Lord of the Rings War of the Ring and Dungeons and Dragons Dragon Shard. They visited my stream, and basically they inspired me to continue analyzing the games when yeah. I have those very fond memories that two developers were pretty much my first viewers, and they told me, you do great analysis. So I said, then I will analyze all the games that I love. I generally play older games, pretty much, and autopsies like this, like a very old game, not that very old, a very old game, and analyzing things like a relationship between the level design and the gameplay mechanic. I also analyze the psychological effects. For example, Sacred 2, that I highly recommend to you and anyone else watching. Sacred 2, you gotta play it, especially if you like this one. It's more open world, but it's endless. It's endless, Sacred 2. Just be careful with the technical aspect of it in that sense. Make sure you get the good old games version of Sacred 2, but amazing game. Amazing game, Sacred 2. It's a testament of the prowess of German development. I think it's the best game, the best German game ever developed. Sacred 2. It's beyond anything. So highly recommend it. I will recommend it to anyone who visits the stream. It's an amazing game, especially if you like this one. So yes, pretty much. The first thing that I was highlighting was the physics. The physics feel like Titan Quest. In that sense, they're like Titan Quest. How heavy they are compared to the animations of Diablo 3 that are more floaty, more hack and slashy. I love that this one follows the tradition of late 2000s isometric action RPG games. Search for Another Sign. That it follows the tradition of being kind of like heavier in its physics in that sense. Very good. Quite amazing. Server District mentioned to me to go to Heredur, that it was the most populated one where him and Flying Energies played. So pretty much Heredur it was. I'm just a newbie, just playing the game for the first time. I will analyze the main story. I'll analyze the main story and up until the end of it. With all of the Chig. Yeah. Heredur. It was the most populated European one, I think. That's the thing. I'm from Argentina. If as you can read from title description, I live in close to Antarctica, Southern Americas, but I'm also Italian. So yeah, pretty much. I have no problem switching between the Americas and and Europe. In terms of the connection, so far I have no problem if it's even if it's a European server in that sense. CC, wait, you speak Spanish? Yeah, if you speak Spanish, well, I cannot speak Spanish because my channel is English speaking, but yeah, my original one, actually, yeah, yeah. Do you listen to those sounds when someone speaks? I don't know. That's a new feature that Streamlabs just updated. Then I will watch the bot and see. It just updated. I don't know why with version 1.18. Yeah, my original language is Spanish. It's Spanish, but I do the streams in English in that sense. In that sense. Speak your Spanish. Well, for anyone else watching, I had a. You are not the first Spanish speaker in that sense, if that's the case. Um, Hola, Teki. ¿Cómo te va? ¿Cómo te va, Teki? Mi acento debería ser eh, español del sur, de Andalucía. Los argentinos son más de Andalucía. No de Andalucía, más o menos de la región sur. Es el equivalente del lenguaje. No usamos muchos modismos. Es bastante neutral, más que el mexicano. Es mucho más neutral. El tono es más bajo y más constante en ese sentido. Y sí, yo soy de la capital, de Buenos Aires. España, probablemente España. What I just said, people, for the rest of my viewers, because all of my audience is from either from the US or I have one other, my first Spanish speaker when I played Sacred 2, but I'm basically showing him the accent because he's at least he said it in the phrase where there's a smiley face with S and I twice, and with the H instead of the laughing. It's basically Spanish. Basically, that's the thing. He asked me to speak a bit in Spanish, as you could read in English. That's the case. So yeah, most of my audience is from either the US or from Europe. I have viewers from the United Kingdom, from well, I had from Poland, but well, they couldn't get used to. Sometimes I talk about politics, but yeah, but I have had from all over the place. Well, district from Romania. Um, I had another viewer from Romania. Can I help you for level 100, please? You mean no, I will analyze the game. I will slowly analyze if you'd like to play with me. Sure, no problem. The main game that I play is Star Wars Republic. Well, it feels weird, but yeah. No worries. Just write the messages in English as best as you can, and no worries. Most of my viewers well, half because I have a lot from the US. Precisely, it's not their native language, and that is the case. I have from Spain. I have another viewer. I have well, from Germany. I have at least two. See, come on, in my group. Yeah. Well, if yeah. Yeah, I have like from France, from Denmark, from the US a lot, 50% from the US, from well, I had from Poland as I've said, but they are a bit they were a bit sensitive with the politics that I talk from time to time. From Germany, from the United Kingdom, from all over the place, all over Europe. So from Italy, I have from my beloved Italy. Basically, an Argentine is it's basically we got independent from you, Spaniards and Italians. It's a combination of Italian and Spaniard, something that in the rest of South America doesn't happen. That's why sometimes we're a bit hated because we are always told, you always behave like the Europeans. You always like behaving like the European. Well, it's the problem. It's just how it culturally happened in that sense. So yeah, it's Italian plus a Spaniard. Imagine that that all Spaniards had a baby with Italians. Well, that's us. In my case, I'm a bit more Italian in that sense. I had kind of like out of my great grandparents, I had two Italian, one Spaniard. The green one on the left group is group invitation of Google Natch Diesel Enhanced. No, well, that's German. German, I cannot get to German. The green one on the left is group invitation. You mean this one? Ikiger mage, so 9 of level 100. Yeah, that has to be you. That's you. That's you. Would you like to join? No, German, no. German, no. I don't get to German. I have kind of like native level English. I'm an English teacher and software developer. And that's you, right? Ekiger German. Come on. Yeah, come on. Yeah, let's go. Or wait, or wait, you from Germany? You German or Spaniard? Now I'm confused. I won't read it if you don't want me to read it. You just write it out and I don't read. German or Spaniard? Now I mean that because you have German and Spaniard at the same time, or maybe Spaniard that went to Germany. That's pretty common as well. That's pretty common as well. We have we have had a lot of migration back to back to Germany from Spain and from Argentina, both of us. I don't know, but I bet you are having a great time. That's what I can tell. Ah, there you are. There you are. There you are. You are Ike Germage. Seasoned Knight of the Order, level 10 Spellweaver. Okay. Yeah, but I'm doing the story, yeah? I will be boring for you if you are trying to do PvP and those things in that sense. Well, it'll be quite boring for you. Maybe when I am a bit more of a high level. Hey, maybe I can see where you are. Like, I don't know if groups are instanced like in Star Wars: The Old Republic or not. Because in Star Wars: The Old Republic, you kind of like enter an instanced dungeon, and the whole group is kind of like dragged there. You have to be that blue circle moving because of the speed that I saw previously. Let me turn in the quest. It should be. Or do I have to teleport back to town or whatever? Like a group can be in a different instance, apparently. Let me turn in this. I just started, eh? I have only 3 hours of playing the game. Heredur's grave. I belong to the High Priest. Just can be found if anyone was searching for him. So if he was down there on the path to Heredur's grave, just opening out. Oh no, Scapanor, the Holy Sword of Agathon. The Sword of Scapanor was bestowed upon the first King Heredur. It is a symbol of the union between the Church of Agathon and the royal house. Not only does it hold considerable symbolic value, but it is also a powerful artifact. Please inspect Heredur's mausoleum to see if the sword is still there. Okay. Oh, that has to be like a friends list or something? Okay. So, today I started a bit later, people. Okay. Today I started a bit later, so I'll play just 10 more minutes and call it a day in case Teki wanted to show me something, but pretty much 10-15 minutes because it's too late for me. I have to go do some things. So what's that? Maybe I have to press that thing because it has a heart there, I think. Could it be? What's that? How do I do that? What's that? There we go. So let's do one more quest. Thank you, by the way, from the bottom of my heart. Take it, of course. And anyone who visits the stream in the future, and of course thanks to Fly Energies in case he mentioned the stream or anything, and of course this trip, both amazing guys. Okay, We'll do one more quest. I don't know if it's instanced, like you can join or what, but I should be able to go over there. I also wonder if the experience is shared within a group. Alright, people, as the first conclusions, and the first impressions of the first 3 hours of gameplay that we did today, pretty much the physics are heavier than the formula of Diablo 3. They're not that floaty in that sense. They are much heavier. Ah, there you are. Yeah, the game is also quite good. 6 plus 6 plus 6. Ah, it must be an aura that you have. Okay, let's enter the... I had to enter this other tomb. The physics are much heavier, pretty similar to games from the late 2000s in that sense. Like Titan Quest. If I had to establish a direct comparison, Titan Quest and Grim Dawn, highly recommended. But the pacing of the cooldowns is that of an isometric action RPG so far. It's that of an isometric action RPG. Not over here. Yeah. Not an MMORPG in terms of the genre classification. As I always mention, the genre classification is essential. It's absolutely essential, because otherwise we cannot establish a direct comparison. Imagine me comparing this game to World of Warcraft just because it has MMORPG elements like grouping, as you can see here, but the predominance of the inherent objective gameplay mechanics is the pacing. Hey, this one has a red skull on it. Let's see. This one has a red skull on it. This one has a red skull. That's a nice indication. Let's see. It has a red skull there. Well, we can finish with the boss. But so far, those are the conclusions before I get to the boss. Heavier physics animations than Diablo 3. In that sense, they are much more floaty there. So far, the predominance in terms of the genre classification is isometric action RPG because of the cooldowns of the abilities so far. Hey, Sarcophagus King Heredur. Hey, this is the guy that the server is based on. Hey, he has some kind of shield. And there we go, it's working. Hey, we can wrap it up with this one. Oh, quite the challenge. Good. See, one of my streams couldn't end without some shit like this. See, just like in Knights of the Fallen Empire Master mode the other day. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, I need to be careful with this guy. So I think I could use potions like that. Well, yeah. Ideally, you have to. You need to have that shit in a quick slot. That doesn't matter. Generally, that's the case. But well, no matter. I wonder if he's weak to fire. I'm doing the correct thing. I help ya. Yeah. Ah, it has a chat as well. Come on out. I help ya. Ah, it has a chat. Oh, yeah, the pay-to-win mechanic certainly started there. Hang on a second. There we go. Ah, so it has a chat. Yeah, that I saw at the beginning. Now I can enter. There we go. This is a silence. Yeah, I also haven't spent any skill points. I'll take care of all of that system next time. I think you'll kill him in one blow, though. Or does it scale? Or what? Yeah, You killed him in one blow. I knew it was going to be like that. I knew it was going to be like that. Well, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Then I can showcase it with the mechanics and everything. But yeah, I can see. Yeah, I didn't spend my points because basically, I need to take care of the of the genre classification for this first time. Okay, let me dump some stuff. Yeah, points on the setting. Can I socket it straight up? No, I bet you need some. Hey, we got a mount here. Use. Not depleted when used. I have a mount. Really? Or I will explore all these next time. It's my first 3 hours. It's my first. They are my first 3 hours. Ah, there we go. It works. It's Mortis mount. Okay, I presume it's the most basic mount ever in the game. Okay, like in the well, in Diablo 3 you don't use the mounts, right? You don't use the mounts. Pretty much. Okay. Not bad, not bad. I'm liking the mechanics so far. I like that the as a last thing. So sorry, sorry, Techie, that I was right at the end of the stream. That I was right at the end of the stream. I have to go to work. I have to go to work. But thank you from the bottom of my heart, you, District, and of course Flying Energies for visiting the stream. All of the previous people that also visited me, and no worries. I love it playing with people all the time. I deeply love it. I also play Star Wars: The Republic and others. So yeah, dismount for 10 years in Drakensang Online time. Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. It is the most basic mount. Yeah, the pretty much the first one that you do. So pretty much. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'll have to leave it here. Sorry that you joined right at the end. I first took care of all of the story. I do metaphysical analysis, as you can read from the description. I do all of the history of the studio and and everything. Then that took me some time. So yeah, for today I'll have to leave it here. I'll have to leave it here. But does it have a friend system or something in the game so I can add you and play it? Maybe the there has to be a friend system or something like that. Like in Star Wars: The Republic, in that sense. But well, yeah. Today I had to take care of the story and everything. I had to take care of the story and everything pretty much. But yeah, well, I'll resume on Tuesday. I'll resume on Tuesday. I thank you again for the help. You play very well. Clearly, you have a lot of experience with the game, and just like me with the Star Wars: The Republic, and pretty much that's it. That that's that's pretty much it. So I will play it on Tuesdays, and once again, I today it took me a lot of time because of the story of the studio and everything that I do. Okay, so bye bye, my friend. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for visiting me, and see you all around, people. So I log out. This should send me back to Steam. In that sense, should send me back to Steam. Thanks to Godless97, to the other people. Sorry, I have to scroll up. To Godless97, to Romeo R6, to Bending DSO for giving me the warm welcome to the game. And we'll play it on Tuesdays, analyzing everything that it has to offer with our scholastic method, as we usually do, people. So, yes, I'll dissect everything that the game has to offer. I'll dissect everything that the game has to offer in that sense, one by one, as we usually do. Slowly but surely, I'll play the whole main story. That's the idea. I'll play the whole main story until I finish it, and then we and then pretty much we we can get to the final analysis that our legendary final analysis that we usually do Okay, let me see so I can restore my usual setup because of that one. Pretty much, there we go, my setup, so I can finish, so I can wrap up the stream. Remember, you have we still have to do the ultimate modded 3DS showcase, the ultimate modded Nintendo 3DS showcase. In that sense, don't worry, I know that you cannot see my screen. Don't worry, it's just that I'm closing Steam and the rest of things. But as for the schedule, before I go, we need to do the ultimate modded 3DS showcase. We will play Star Wars: The Old Republic on Thursdays and Drakensang on Tuesdays. Pretty much that will be the schedule. And in the meantime, we'll do the Ultimate 3DS showcase at some point. Then we will go for, after, we'll have our hands full, but then once I finish Knights of the Eternal Throne expansion of Star Wars: The Old Republic, we'll get to The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. We'll get to the next isometric action RPG and the Warlock atop Firetop Mountain. Remember, people, there we go. There we go. There, as my interface goes back to normal, I can pretty much finish the schedule, wrap it up. Sorry that today we did 3 hours. I generally do 4, but I had to create the account and everything for the game. So that's the idea, people. Drakensang on Tuesdays, we'll do. We'll continue Star Wars: The Old Republic on Thursdays. This time I inverted the schedule because we finished Knights of the Fallen Empire. The Ultimate 3DS Showcase at some point. We'll announce it over at Discord for Discord members that were waiting for it. And then The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing and 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 the and the British version of Dungeons and Dragons, pretty much, which is the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. So we'll follow that schedule. But I bet I don't know how much time. Then I'll ask District how much time more or less it will take me to finish the main story of this game without the expansions and everything. I think it was level 29, something like that, the main story, with all of the zones, and then we pretty much manage those. Then we can also do some dungeons after I finish the main story, if I like it, because I like isometric action RPG games. I love this genre. Conclusions for the first impressions. The physics are heavier than Diablo 3 in that sense. It's not that floaty, but it does inherit the hack and slash mechanics of Diablo 3. Even more Titan Quest and Grim Dawn, especially. If I had to establish a direct comparison, predominance of the genre classification so far. It's only been 3 hours, but in a preliminary way, pretty much more isometric action RPG than MMORPG. Why? Because of the pacing of the cooldowns, because of the economy of the regeneration rate of the mana. If you paid attention to Sacred 2, it was exactly the opposite. It was like World of Warcraft. The pacing of the regeneration, that's one of the keys. And in terms of the level design, the dungeons, the dungeons are more semi-open world and instanced in comparison. So the influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics is more of an isometric action RPG than an MMORPG. Remember, those are the first impressions in 3 hours of gameplay, according to everything I've seen. The story of the studio, it was absorbed by the Chinese company that District mentioned that they complained so much. The players, we could see the Steam reviews at the beginning with the whole history of Radon Labs, then big games, and how it was absorbed then by Yuzu Games with the Chinese company and everything. So we'll get to the objective metaphysical reality that the game has to offer, eventually analyzing all of the aspects. We'll take out our time, as we usually do, and do a complete dissection and autopsy of all of the elements. People, it's been my pleasure. Hope you have a great weekend. I have to thanks to the 80th, before I go, thanks to the 80th YouTube subscriber from the bottom of my heart, from Star Wars: The Old Republic. Thank you from the bottom of my heart over at YouTube. Thanks to Tekig from the bottom of my heart for being the 39th Twitch follower, and thanks to anyone in general who might have taken the time to watch this as a Twitch VOD or YouTube VOD in the future. My love to you all, and see you all. Hope we have a great weekend, and see you all in on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we'll continue with Drakensang Online. Then on Thursdays, we continue with Star Wars Hero. People, it's my pleasure. Have a great, great weekend. I wish you all a great, great weekend. Great, great weekend. District, Flying Energies, Techie, everyone that has visited the stream. Sorry, I saw all of your names there. Binding, DSO, Romeo, Godlet, 97, all of you. Pretty much. I think also Bane Death visited for a moment there. Of course, always to Scarlet Dragoon, to Discord members, to Scarlet Dragoon, to K-Tig, um, to Bane Death, not Discord member, but Twitch follower, to Crowbar as well, there from Discord. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart, and see you all on Tuesday. Have a great, great weekend, people.